So we are here taking your questions that you submitted, and I have Ryan here with me today
Hi.
because we are answering some relationship questions and some that I want to take from different perspectives and get his take on it so we can answer the question fully. So we are answering 4 questions. So would you like to pick a number between 1 through 4? And we will answer one of the questions.
Let's go with number 3.
Number 3. All right. Should I read it or do you want to read it?
You should read it.
Okay. He hasn't read these before, but I have. So, I just found out that my girlfriend has been cheating on me. I suspected something was going on, but couldn't prove it. She constantly accused me of being jealous and irrational to the point that I thought I had the issue. I can't tell anymore if someone is lying or not. I think everyone is, and it turns out they usually are. Does anyone not cheat anymore? How can I tell if someone's actually being honest? I don't know how I'll ever trust anyone. I don't think women these days know how to be faithful. There's a lot of exclamation marks and capital letters in that message. Clearly very heated and also clearly very hurt.
Yeah.
He's been hurt a lot. A lot, it looks like.
Yeah. Where to begin? So I've been cheated on, in like my first or second relationship, and I had a similar struggle. I think personally, I think naturally a bit more practical. So I don't think it took me as long to get over it or to understand what it meant and to accept the reality of it. But the trauma from it did last, of course, a much longer time.
By that, do you mean like you didn't take it as personally?
Yeah.
By taking, because you said what, that you were more rational or logical.
Yeah, I
or
think
something?
I
like
think
you didn't take it like on as like they cheated on me because something's wrong with me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
they cheated on me because of these other reasons. Is that what
I
you're
would
saying?
I would say my ration was if you would cheat, then clearly you're not in this the way I am. And maybe I just never knew that. Like I couldn't see that. And this was the deciding factor.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was easy for me to be like, oh, okay, if she did this, then clearly she's not willing to, I guess, sacrifice who I am, you know? So this is where she is and this is where I'm at. So cool. I said the trauma from being cheating on and losing that trust when you thought you could have trusted the person, I said, took a longer time to get over. But I say personally, because I think I'm a bit more practical, it was easy for me to just kind of equate what it meant. Okay, so one,
There's a book on me.
one, I would say it would take definitely time and time in actually addressing that problem. So not just leaving, let time pass and being hurt and dwelling on it, but one, I would say trying to make sense of it. If you can have a conversation with your partner that is open and constructive, which I know is very hard to have even under those circumstances, to give you some sort of perspective, because there are a number of reasons why people would cheat in general. I don't think they have one reason. One of the main reasons is because maybe they're not getting something from you or the partner that they didn't know how to address or didn't know how to bring to you, or they wanted to go out on their own and get it. And I'm not justifying that action by cheating because of that, but that is one of the main reasons. And this is a tough one. I think like a lot of people get cheated on, like, and they don't know how to address it. Like even I didn't know how to address it. I think just a matter of time and me making sense of it and then trying again with someone else and understanding that it will take more patience and understand it will take spending more time with them. And the reality is, I don't think you're never going to be in a position where things can't go wrong. Like beyond relationships, things could always go wrong. Mm-hmm. But using the time to really develop the relationship and really develop a level of trust Because from the time that you got to a point where you thought something was going wrong, that's when like the conversations need to be had and things need to either be changed or addressed right away. Like
When he had the feeling like
Yeah.
something's going on, he said what? I suspected something was going on, but I couldn't prove it.
Yeah.
So at that point, you're saying like something probably is going on, so it
Yeah.
needs to be addressed. But how do you? Because a lot of people say this. A lot of people say, "I thought something was going on for a long time, but I couldn't prove it."
Right.
And often that gut feeling that we have, there's something that really is there, and there's
Yeah.
something more to it. Often it's not maybe exactly what we thought,
Yeah.
but there is something going on.
Yeah.
But how do you prove something? And I'm not sure that's probably not the way that I would suggest to
Yeah,
do
that's
it,
what
that
I
you don't
would say.
prove something because you don't know what's going on, but there's something there. But how do you go about doing that?
So one, forget proving it, right? I don't believe in, that's just my perspective. I don't believe in proving right or wrong. I believe if you're not comfortable and you're insecure and you're not in a position to accept what is and be comfortable with it, then you have to consider leaving it. Like, if you can't have the conversation that is going to take you down the path of, okay, getting away from that distrust, getting away from those negative thoughts, getting away from those doubts, then it's going to be hard. But I believe, as I say, this is just my perspective, I believe then you need to start considering moving away. Because clearly there's something that's not, it's just not working. Like, I don't think there's any time in a relationship that you must withstand that level of distrust and discomfort without being able to address it for a lengthy period of time. I don't think that's a thing. I think it needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
And if when addressed, things don't change, then you need to either have the conversation again or consider the alternative. Like, not being a part of it for your betterment, you know, because you want to be in a relationship because you want your partner to yes, be a partner, like compliment you, like yeah, you want to be able to trust them and have as easy a relationship as possible with this person. You know, I think that's why you choose a partner, not because of any other thing, like just because they kind of complement or you complement each other's existence. You know, once it does, to me, if it doesn't have that fundamental like grounding, then
I like what you're saying, and I agree.
yeah,
I'm just not sure how that pans out in real life.
yeah,
You know, like I'm just imagining this guy. So when he suspects something's going on,
Right.
and maybe he starts asking more questions, and he starts like trying to get more information from her.
right,
Maybe he's going about that in all the wrong way because it's coming out of insecurity.
right,
But if he tries to have those conversations and he just never gets anywhere, then you're saying at that point he thinks about ending the relationship.
yeah,
But so I have a client too that had the same situation. If this could be him, I don't know. This was anonymous, but he kept having this, and he didn't want to let go of these relationships because he hoped that he wasn't right, and he felt like it was his insecurity that was making it that way. So he would hang on through all of this uncomfortableness, hoping that it goes away, but it never goes away, and then he finds something. So you're saying he ends it before then, but how do you, it's so hard to actually end it if you're not sure something is going on and you feel like it might be your fault, right?
no, but both, I think both have its challenges. Like there isn't an easy answer to the question.
Yeah.
I think more of me saying you ending the relationship is because not necessarily that your partner is doing something, but chances are you have something that you have to deal with on your own.
That he hasn't worked through.
Yeah, that you are not because I'm not even saying that you are not a burden in the relationship and may not necessarily be a burden on your partner, but you may be a burden on your partner and yourself just because you haven't worked through that. So, as I say, I'm not saying all of that to say it is your partner cheating. I'm saying you have to make that decision so that the burden of thinking your partner is cheating on you and you're not secure when your partner is not around you is not there. The burden of it being on you and not being comfortable with yourself in this relationship
Yeah.
will also not be there. So that then, with all those burdens and the confusion and trying to prove whatever, you then now need to give yourself the time to work on yourself and like to identify what it was really. Because yeah, as I say, it isn't always the partner's fault, but either way, I think in those circumstances, it usually comes from personal insecurity
Yeah.
because of either past experiences or whatever, you know. So, as I know, it's hard. Like that's not an easy decision to make, but I think it is better because imagine coming out of it and then working on yourself and being a more secure person and being able to be more vulnerable to someone and being able to trust someone in that light because you don't have the insecurities that you had before.
Yeah.
Then I'm not saying that there's no possibility things go wrong again, but you're in a much better position to be a much better partner, to be happier in your relationship, and it's more stable. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's not easy, but
Yeah, and I agree with that. I think that's probably what I would suggest as well that you do now. So you found out that this person has been cheating on you. I'm going to assume that the relationship has ended or is going to end. And if that's the case, then I think you should really go into your own work and your healing because a lot of pain and a lot of trauma comes from being lied to and being deceived and being cheated on. So I would really go into that and into healing that and processing that and go into trying to build yourself up and building up your confidence and building up who you are so you can come out of this a more secure, confident person eventually. Obviously, this takes time to healing it over this and build yourself up. And I would suggest working on the acceptance that sometimes no matter what we do and how good our intentions are, things go wrong, like you said. So all I can do is work on me and give what I can and try and work on my communication and all of that. If it's not right, then I need to be confident enough to step away from it if it's not for me and just continue to put that energy into yourself. And when you feel like you can trust and lean into a relationship and step into that vulnerability a little bit more and chance that that could go wrong still, then you're ready to kind of take that step. But the personal work shouldn't stop at that point. You keep working on yourself and keep trying to build yourself up and heal from the pain because the pain and the hurt of this is so real. I don't want to minimize that in any way at all either. This is real and it's awful, it's painful, and that deserves some space and some love to heal through that. Yeah?
yeah, definitely. You'll be fine.
You will get through this.
It would take some time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
It doesn't feel like it now, but you will. So good luck, and I hope that helps. And yes, you will. You will survive.